Coming up on this episode, I'll talk about how we're all trapped in the present and how you can start taking steps to freeing yourself. So let's get into it. What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Perspective Chasing Podcast, and I'm your host, John. On this episode, I want to talk about how we're trapped in the present. Now, this is an idea that I come across the other day, and I've been rather fascinated with it since. Now, I'll do my best to remember this, but it was laid out like the past that's behind you now. The future hasn't come yet. We're still together. All we ever have is the present, and that will always be true. Today will end up being yesterday. Tomorrow will end up being today. Yesterday will then end up being wherever. I lost my own train of thought there. But you see how it gets confusing. So the reality is that we're all just going through life day by day. And the thing is, eventually you will get to that future and you will forget that past. But you will only ever experience that interim moment, that in-between. And I suppose you can liken it to that feeling of limbo. But limbo is more associated with a negative than a kind of life journey. But I think this really is more about that life journey in the sense of you can only experience your life within a moment. You can't experience all of life in one go. So focus on those little moments. And like I spoke about last episode, it's those little things, those little moments, the little actions, the little things. That's what tends to matter in life. That's what makes up the big things after all. So by focusing on that present moment and what you're doing in that present moment, like I set a goal a little while back of having less days that I wish ended, or less days that I was wishing away. And I think that's a goal that everybody should have. I mean, how many people start on Monday wishing for it to be Friday? That's 5 days of your life that you've just wished away. That's over 2/3 of your week that you just want to give up so you can have the weekend. Really? 2/3 of your life is what we're wishing away every week. That's not life, surely. So let's really ask ourselves, how are we spending our present moment? Are we wishing the days away, or are we enjoying them? And I'm not perfect. I do have days where I still wish they would end, but I do have more days where I wish wouldn't end. I have days that I really do enjoy. And when I am in one of those days, I really try to acknowledge it, because they're not always going to be there. And I think that's what makes them precious as well, the fact that they're not always there. I always like quoting the 50 Cent line because it always rings so true of joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. And that is so true. So if you only ever have good days, you'll lose sight of what a good day is. So the bad days are going to come. I mean, if you want full disclosure, before recording this, my daughter threw up sick all over my shoulder. And it was not nice. I probably still smell a bit sicky now. But we get the work done. And I'm still here with a smile on my face. It's not a bad day. And really, today is not one of those days where I was wishing it to end. Although some unpleasant things have happened, doesn't mean it's a bad day. And I think that's the other thing of kind of having that step back of like, okay, cool, some bad things have happened in the present, but that doesn't mean the present is bad. Or some good things have happened in the present, that means they may not last. So enjoy them and take note of them. Like with all of life, it's always going to be an ever-moving, ever-changing thing. So you're going to have to move and roll with it. But the more your awareness of you in the present changes, and the more that you realize that you're kind of setting up dominoes for you down the road, the more you can kind of navigate your own way through, kind of almost set things up for yourself. So again, like another bit of advice I kind of dropped before of just laying things out for yourself the day beforehand, laying out the clothes that you're going to wear, the first couple of things that you're going to do in the day. If you always want to wake up and have a glass of water or a coffee or a glass of orange juice or whatever your morning routine be, set it up the night before so that when you wake up that next day, in that present, your morning will go smooth. But that will only come if yesterday you made the preparations for today. So again, you can make your own life better. You can navigate your own life and tweak whatever it is you want in your life, but you have to put in the work. You have to do the actions. And those actions are done in the present. When are you going to do the actions if you're always putting them off? If you're always saying, yeah, I'll sort my room out, or I'll sort my bills out, or whatever it is. If you always say, I'll sort it out when, then you're passing that buck to some other you somewhere else in the timeline. Do yourself a favor and take care of it now. And then that you somewhere else in the timeline is free to do whatever they want to do. It's always going to be a game of life. So learn some more rules, or learn a new way to play the rules. Start setting yourself up to win. Because if you're not paying attention to life, and if you're not paying attention to yourself, you're setting yourself up to lose. I'm going to wrap this episode up there because, as I say, I was thrown up on before this episode, so I want a shower. But the seed for this episode is going to be, look at where you've been a bit hard on life. Look at where you've written off a day, a friendship, a job, a dream, whatever it is, for simply being a little bit bad. Hey, it's not always the worst thing. Like sometimes you could have an amazing holiday if you settle for a cheap hotel, but then you're barely in the hotel, so the scenery and the things that you get to do, they're worth the terrible hotel. Find your terrible hotel in life. Find the things that you can go, do you know what? It might be a bit of a bad situation, but I've got A, B, and C, which is good. Because again, like, it's not nice to be thrown up on, but as the old saying goes, better out than in. So, it done someone some good. Anyway, all the best, and I'll catch you on the next one.